れに勝ちたいんだ。
The anime begins in the middle of the 21st century, when wars have disappeared from the small floating world in the darkness. Suddenly, people with extraordinary powers appeared all over the world and wished for peace. They worked tirelessly, and no one knew exactly where they came from or how, but they all wore unique and embarrassing clothes, so people referred to them in the old-fashioned way as heroes. We see this girl named Truo, but she's known as She in the train, and she is one of these heroes. She lives in Japan and was deeply engrossed in her phone when her train arrived at the station where she had to get off. She was so preoccupied with her phone that something in her bag reminded her that she had to get off the train. When she did, she hurriedly moved to get to her job. Then, Truo arrives at the theater where the heroes are going to perform. She speaks with fear and nervousness because she's very shy when people look at her this way, and everyone gets tired of her words. She apologizes to them and tells them that the show will start soon. Then she goes inside and meets a girl who tells her that she did well but needs to gain a little more confidence. She is a hero from the rescue team. After that, Truo goes to her room and feels nauseous, and she keeps vomiting. Something else from her bag triggers this, and we see that it's her pet, a robotic animal named Ibio. Ibio accompanies her in everything, and then he tells her that it has been 3 months since she became a hero, and she needs to get used to people looking at her, which she has not done yet. At this time, she hears a screaming sound from outside. When she rushes out, she finds that the roller coaster ride has malfunctioned and children are stranded at the top. Everyone is in a state of fear and panic, wanting someone to call for help. Truo quickly rushes to the children and reassures them that she will help, so there is no need to worry. When the girl asked Truo to make her the last person to be rescued and to take care of the other children so they wouldn't be scared, Truo agreed. She took the girl's brother first, instructing him to hold onto her tightly, even if he felt like his stomach was in his chest, and assured him that he would be safe. This was the first child Truo had ever rescued. Then, Truo flew back up to save the rest of the children. After rescuing them all, only the girl who wanted to be saved last remained. Truo saw that the roller coaster cars were moving at high speed and colliding with each other. She rushed to save the girl, grabbing onto the car she was in and bringing it safely to the ground. However, when she checked the girl's condition, she found her covered in blood, unconscious, and in critical condition. Truo was deeply saddened by this and returned to her home. There, she remained very sad because she couldn't save the girl, and she saw on the news that the girl had been taken to the hospital and had not regained consciousness. She was in a very critical condition, and people began to doubt the current heroes. They wrote that she had failed to save the girl, and all the heroes should bear legal responsibility for their rescue attempts. Afterward, Ibio approached her to tell her that he had heard about a bus accident in the neighboring prefecture. Truo replied that she didn't know what had happened, but she couldn't transform anymore when her heart was so broken. It was impossible for her. Ibio told her that it had been a month since the incident with the girl, and there were many people in Japan who needed her help. Truo cried when she heard this because she was afraid of failing again and causing severe harm to new people. She feared that everyone would mock her once more. If there had been another hero with her that day, she might have been able to hold the roller coaster car better and save the girl. At this moment, another hero named Babisha arrives. She is a hero from Russia and tells Truo that she has been very hard on herself lately, even becoming introverted. Truo asks her what she's doing here, and Babisha hesitates for a moment because she momentarily forgot why she came. However, she assures Truo not to worry and explains that she wants her to listen carefully because there is no hero who can save everyone. Nevertheless, they must hold on to all the brightness they can save and carry the burden of those they couldn't. Heroes must keep moving forward. However, their conversation is interrupted by an urgent mission that has come up for Babisha. She apologizes to Truo for not being able to continue their conversation and rushes off to fulfill her duty. Afterwards, Truo leaves her house, reflecting on her friend's words about moving forward. She is in a library, buying some books, and contemplates what Babisha said about taking responsibility. While there, she overhears 2 boys talking about her. They haven't seen her since the incident and believe she might have died or something had happened to her. They also mention that there are no heroes left in Japan, making it a very safe place even without heroes. Upon hearing this, Truo quickly exits to avoid being noticed and starts wandering the streets, wondering if she'll remain like this forever. Then, she hears a lot of sirens and ambulances rush by. She sees a fire at a hotel and hears that there are people on the upper floors in need of rescue, with no one reaching them in time. Truo wants to help, but she remembers the little girl who lost consciousness a month ago and starts crying. However, she sees a young boy running towards the fire, determined to save them all this time. The man tells Truo that the fire is very frightening, but she rescues the boy and then talks to him about how the people who overcome their fears are the true heroes. The girl then transforms and reassures the boy that she will take charge, asking him not to worry. Truo quickly ascends to the top of the hotel, telling herself that she had been too worried about herself and couldn't do anything else. Inside the room, she calls out if anyone is there, but there's no response. She listens carefully and hears the cries of a small child. Truo enters the room and finds the child with their mother, who is already deceased. She's saddened because she couldn't save another life and carries them on her back to get them to the paramedics as quickly as possible. As she exits the room explodes and the small child falls from the balcony. However, Truo flies to save the child in time, and then Spirit comes to her aid, preventing her from falling. Spirit tells her that she knows she's still a beginner, but she shouldn't be too hard on herself. After the evacuation and the fires extinguished, the injured are taken to the hospital. Spirit tells Truo that they should leave because they are no longer needed here. Truo is initially sad, but then sees fans approaching Spirit, wanting to take photos with her and get her autograph. Truo is delighted and hopes to have fans of her own one day. The boy from earlier thanks Truo for what she did and informs her that his sister is out of the hospital and will be going to school soon. He bids her farewell and leaves. Truo is happy about the outcome and expresses her desire to save even more people. Spirit then tells her that the mother of the child she rescued managed to regain consciousness despite what others said. Truo bursts into tears and Spirit asks her why she's crying, suggesting that she should be smiling at a time like this. Spirit then says they should go because she has another reason for visiting. They enter a circle in outer space and head off into the unknown. Truo asks, "Where are we?" And she's told that this is the secret hideout of the heroes. Then another girl appears and welcomes Truo, saying, "It's been 3 months since I became a hero, and I wished we had met sooner." Truo approaches the girl but is very nervous. She asks what happened to her, and the girl, Saibera, replies that she's just shy. Truo asks her who she is, and she answers that she's responsible for supervising the Earth's heroes, the Heavenly Empress Unilord, but then she quickly says she's just kidding. Saibera then tells Truo to get to the point. She mentions that they will face a great danger in the future, greater than anything they've encountered before. Despite the world being free from wars, there is still darkness in the hearts of many, a darkness they don't want anyone to see. They want to exploit this darkness, and she emphasizes that a hero's duty is to become a beacon of hope for people and to protect the soul of the world. She tells Truo that this is the true essence of their heroism. Saibera concludes by saying that in an era where everyone wishes for peace and happiness, their mission is to bring true peace to the world. This era in human history holds the deepest meaning for the soul. Afterward, we see Truo at school, struggling to speak. She finally says, "This is such big talk, it doesn't even seem real." Just then, their teacher announces that there's a new classmate joining them today, and it turns out to be Koshikawa, the girl Truo couldn't save. They recognize each other and hope to get along well. Koshikawa is welcomed warmly by all the students as she's praised for her beauty and intelligence, and it is revealed that she has crutches. She sits next to Truo, who is still overwhelmed by the situation, as Koshikawa is the girl she couldn't save.